Woo! What's up, everybody?
Oh, damn. Hey Charles, I'm not sure we live yet, but you gotta give me a second to find the song. I know you pressed.
We're a little
Give me a minute, man, before you hit that button. We should wait till I'm up so we could just run the music. Keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? Say keep it a little stagnant here. But nonetheless, I'm here. You find that song. Oh, here it is. Uh, let's check. Right?
ready. Get the music. Woo! What's up, everybody?
What's good, everybody? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear Mr. Officer Faulkner? Let's see.
Live in living color
Yep. Yes.
on this
Have
beautiful,
y'all
beautiful
done the title?
Saturday.
Yep.
Oh man, one more day of the grind, and I'm free.
Yep. Yes.
I know this is early for everybody, but this is probably going to be the part one, maybe part two. We'll see how it goes, but definitely,
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm Black Superman.
Mhm.
Think about it. You're the greatest, you're the latest, you're the most powerful. But like a Superman, you always have an alter ego where you have to hide your true self and your true power just to fit in
Mhm.
around the world around you, just to make everybody feel comfortable around you. You can never be the maverick. You can never be respected as the true leader, but you're expected to do great and mighty things. You're expected to make miracles happen with little to no support. Black man, we are black supermen. Nobody wants you to come out there in your suit unless it's a time of need. Nobody wants you to save the day unless they totally have some catastrophic result. You have been downtrodden, discriminated, hated, lynched, mistreated, disrespected. Above else, the community use you as a scapegoat. So, Black Superman, your greatest kryptonite was at one point your greatest strength, the community itself. At one time, we had order. One time, we had technological breakthroughs. At one time, we had not just community, but family. But all through the city, the urban environments where we grew up. All I see is death, destruction, anarchy, chaos.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. When do I get to be praised for my heroic acts of holding us together by the glue, by the strands? In all reality, everything you do is for naught. That's why I refer to myself and others as Black Superman, making a way out of no way, using your great strength to hoist your woman, your children, and everybody else in the community above you. What do you think about that, Chaos?
I think that's excellent, bro. Very excellent. Um, it goes back again, bro, that we have to be as men the heroes of our own narrative. Because no one else is going to be at the end of it. I mean, you say this constantly when I first had you on my other channel, on my other call show a year ago. There's only three things that affects Black males: education, the heroes of your own narrative, and I forgot the other one, Charles. It's in my mind. I don't know if you can remember. Damn. Here you. It's one of them three, but yeah, we have to be their vessels, those pinnacles, for the change that we want to see, not only for ourselves, but for our own communities we reside in. And people do need heroes at the end of the day. And we're in this community, we're lacking a lot of things. Besides family structure, but we're lacking actual heroes that will show, improve, and protect what is theirs and their territories amongst the community. And good evening to ABO, everybody that's in the chat. Don't be hesitant. As you come in the building, please hit that like button. Also, share this stream. And at the end of every video, leave a comment, your thoughts and opinions. I know everybody has something in their mind during every stream, and they would like to voice their opinion. You can do that right there in the comment section, or you can hit Charles up on his email for any future show ideas. It's that simple. But it makes me go back to thinking about superheroes or Superman. We all know the idea of Superman was taken off ancient Kemet, which is the black god, the black man himself. And these same Europeans, particularly people that are Jewish descent, take and form and create their own like image of a god, a superhero, in the form of what they see and stole from us. Because they understand and know the essence of imagery. I go a step further. If you don't know, my people, the image shapes your reality. It makes you view highly or more of yourselves. And it also shapes where you see yourselves and where you're going as a people. If only thing you see yourself as something of lesser than, like a low thug, a bum, illiterate, or all these labels they like to label black men, even as far as that they are terrorists. They do this because they know the image is important. It drives and fuel not only the culture, but a set of people. And matter of fact, it advocates and justifies the destruction and annihilation of groups of people through imagery. Now, I'm not sure why no intelligent person of color would ask himself, why are they depicting majority of our people in this way? And most of black people don't act and conduct themselves this way. I tell you why. Because it's for your demise, not only psychologically, but eventually will lead to you physically. Because you don't see any worth of yourself. If you turn on the television today, look what they're playing. Garbage, bullshit. I know one time when I was watching TV, and I stopped watching TV consistently after I think over a decade. I remember certain favorite TV shows. They always played the degradation of black people, especially black males, on TV. And the last, I would say 5, maybe 6 years, or maybe longer, as I was with over a chick's house, she turned on TV, and for the first time in a few years, I watched TV, and lo and behold, I have not seen nothing change in regards to the black male image through television. Today, even back then when I used to start watching TV before I started going into more of the digital space. And I conclude that this is all psychological programming. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. My fault. Sport channel. Um, so me thinking, what was the best scenario for me as a man to really not fall into the programming too much, but to get away from this constant of imagery of black degradation and degeneration. I had to eventually unplug through the television altogether. Now, this is something I didn't do psychologically, but I made the conscious decision that me as a man, even as a young adult, it was not good psychologically for me to continue watching these images of not only myself but us as a people. And it goes back to the superhero narrative. It's going to come to a point that there are black people right now, black boys specifically, are creating works of art as we speak to change how they view themselves in regards to their own heroes.
Glad you actually talked about that.
Mhm.
It's similar to what I said years ago, and I still hold true to that today. 3 things the black community doesn't give a damn about: black boys, education, and being the heroes of your own narratives. You know why? Because it takes a hero to do such.
Yeah.
It takes effort. It takes gumption, intestinal fortitude. It takes something other than yourself and the greed of it. That is why I'm Black Superman. You have to look into realities and say, hey, I'm going to take responsibility for my actions. I'm going to be accountable for my people. Damn sure going to be accountable for myself. And I'm going to be good at it, if not great. I'm going to look at my flaws and I'm going to have the due diligence to work on them. But it takes a man of character, perseverance, honor, integrity, strength, intellect to capture the essence of what each attribute means. I don't say this to give you an imaginary story. I say this to actually give you something that's stranger than fiction. What do you mean black men are the best fathers on the planet? What do you mean that we have more black men in college than in jail? What do you mean that black men still protect the black community? They still protect black women, black children. What do you mean that the black man, through slavery, through Jim Crow, through civil rights, through crack, through violence, through terrorist attacks, still thrives. What do you mean? Do you think that's a far stretch, Chaos? Do you think this is something that somebody like Stan Lee wrote, or Jack Kirby, or Jim Lee drawn or illustrated?
No, the funny thing about these 2 or 3 authors that you mentioned, these illustrators, these creators, they see something in this black man that this black man doesn't see in himself. That's when you look at and count the amount of superheroes that are their race to us is like 90% on the average, right? They got to put something in there to show they're not racist. But if you look at all the characters that help them to formulate to what we watch or read in comic books, because you're a comic book reader, I'm not per se, but I watch on TV. It shows that every character that represent that you see or read from a Marvel or DC perspective, they look to us and put themselves in the comic books, what they see from us.
Oh yes, just to give you a little statistics, 98.2% of all comic book creators and writers and producers are white.
Yep.
Male.
Mm-hmm.
So imagery, as I always say, it starts with you. To be the Black Superman, you must have the superpowers of endurance, perseverance, patience, empathy. Something that, contrary to popular belief, people to this day still believe that we're some savage men.
Mm-hmm.
Still believe that we just aimlessly kill each other without cause. Woo! Everybody in the chat, underrated darkness. Julius Minor, Topaz presents. Woo! China White, you were preaching the other day, girl. See, a lot of times when you become the hero of your own narrative, it's the road less traveled. It's the most difficult thing you can imagine. It is hell on wheels with a shitty grease wheel. Okay? What's up to Charles R. Charles? We are not, you're right. We are not savages. We are heroes. Throughout time, we've saved everybody's ass. But do you think the world has ever returned the favor? No. Remember when we took the savages from up north? And we civilized them, showed them how to make homes.
Mm-hmm.
Back there thousands of years later, showed them during the bubonic plague, showed them how to clean themselves, how to discard trash, how to get rid of plagues,
How to create water system,
how to create water systems, aqueducts, how to create sewage systems, and how did they repay us? With injustice and slavery, inhumane treatment. Animals were treated better than we were. Animals had more worth than we did.
Yeah.
We go to the Civil War. As a matter of fact, we won't even start at the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to understand, during the birth of this country, before we even had a country, the first person to fight for it was a black man. The first person to kill and die for it.
Memphis, black men first started off the first Revolutionary War back in the 1700s. From what I'm hearing.
So you're telling me that America's first superhero, oh wow, was a black man? Think of that, chaos.
Yeah.
When the Civil War sparked, it was black men who freed Lincoln, not Lincoln freeing black men.
Mm-hmm.
Even Lincoln had to admit, if it wasn't for the efforts of the black man, they would have lost the war indefinitely and entirely.
Mm-hmm.
How did they repay us? They give some of his land and then take it back.
But in 3 years.
3 years. They removed the soldiers to protect us, how we protected them. They gave us Jim Crow to make us permanent second-class citizens. Just separate, but equal. And we know damn sure it was not equal.
Yeah.
Woo. But yet, this black man, America's first superhero, the world's first superhero, I should add, endured. Despite the fact that his woman was allowed to be educated, read, write,
Mm-hmm.
to live freely, to actually own property before her man.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, she owned slaves because she had the children of the slave owner.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all that was against him, we come into Reconstruction. A lot of those men took guard jobs or sharecropping and still put the black community, the black nation on his back. And you telling me this man isn't a superhero? Once again, how y'all doing in the chat? How you doing, Chaos? I'm Black Superman.
Oh yes. Yes. Oh yes.
So are you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So you're telling me we actually build in the Carolinas and in Tulsa, Black Wall Street. Well, we said, the hell with you. You don't want us a part of your country. You don't want us part of the infrastructure. You want to put me in the back of the bus, figuratively and literally. We'll make our own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what surprised? This superhero had a better economy than the white people around him.
Yeah, imagine that. But it's natural, bro, because we are the innovators. We built civilization. That tells you cities don't build shit, bro.
But I hear the black man doesn't build.
Mm-hmm.
This superhero gave this superhero gave his woman not only protection but also employment. He gave his children education.
Mm-hmm.
And what did the enemy of the superhero do? They couldn't walk up in there. They fucking committed arson, committed bombs, and burned it down.
Mm-hmm.
But we all in this together, right?
Yeah.
Bullshit I say, and bullshit it will stay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to World War II, where this superhero was called upon to do acts of bravery that no other man on the planet dared to do. that no other man on
This superhero was called to free Jewish prisoners of war from the most horrendous prison camps. The Jews gave us a name. It wasn't the Justice League. It wasn't the Avengers. It was the Liberators.
Yep.
Mighty funny they actually made movies about this shit. Mighty funny that they would send the black men to the most dangerous missions, but they always would make the other guys look heroic.
Yes.
I could even go before World War II with the Buffalo Soldiers and how Teddy Roosevelt, when he was a colonel in the army, tried to say that he had to force the black soldier by gunpoint when it came out that his cowardly lot refused to take the hill. And they galvanized him and his troops to move. See, when you're the hero of your own narrative, by default, you are a man of action.
That's right.
And all others have to be humble and follow your lead. Back to World War II. These liberators, you like that name, don't you? Liberators.
Hey, listen, that's what the Great Liberator got its term from. I think, if I ask Mary personally, I wouldn't be surprised to tell me that.
The liberators. There is no greater gift to give a human being than their freedom of life. With the exception of actually giving birth or inseminating. These liberators freed these Jewish people from being incinerated. To this day, every year they have a festival, a week-long festival celebrating these superheroes, these liberators. And it's mighty funny how you have in almost every city a Jewish association. And how much do they donate to Black society? Let's even go further with the history lesson. It was Jewish people who funded and insured slave ships that brought your black asses here. So in essence, we freed you from your Holocaust, you financed ours. What do you think of that?
Man, that's like a serious extra knife plunging where it just goes so deep in my back, I can't pull that for myself. You fund my oppression, which you still do, and I go in return help you under your so-called oppression. Even to the point where it's your own people, if we really look into it, funded that same Holocaust.
But guess
So
what?
black man, yeah, go ahead.
We're Black Superman. But continue.
Oh yeah. Yes. So, and some that's always that Negro's gonna try to save, the oppressed at the end of the day, no matter how much oppression he's facing right now, especially in the soil. It's a rough, it's a hard pill to swallow, bro. But it's the honest truth, bro.
Let's even go even further. These superheroes come back home, hands raised in victory,
Mhm.
where you were celebrated as a hero, as God on earth that created miracles, that freed people from their bondage. You had black soldiers hanging in their military uniforms. It took till 1947 for Eisenhower to integrate the military, which is the start of civil rights, by the way, if you're listening. And let's go a few years later. It was your superheroes like Dr. King and Brother Malcolm who knew that they were not going to live to be old men. But the message and the mission had to go forward. One thing about being a hero, you have to have unrelenting courage, almost inexhaustible perseverance. But the black man doesn't stand up for his people. But the black man isn't a leader. But guess what? I'm Black Superman, and so are you. We'll go a little bit later down the timeline. Here comes
Mhm.
what? Second or third wave feminism. The law started changing where the government interfered because of things like COINTELPRO, because they didn't want to see a black messiah. It's in the records. That's what Nixon said and his cabinet. They didn't want to see a black messiah. What is another name for messiah? Savior. So they knew the coming of the superhero was upon us. They knew what the hell you were capable of. They came and interfered in your families, your relationships, and said that black man can't be the father of his children anymore. He cannot discipline them. He cannot educate them. He has no rule over them, and we give it to the woman. What's up, Q? Woo! What's up, Trinity? Woo! Roy? Woo! But for some godforsaken reason, even during those times, that brother still was there. It had to take to the point where black men said, you know what? I'm not going to let my children starve. I am good, my brother. Woo! Army life is still your style. Where he said, you know what? I'm going to go look for a job and I'm going to allow you to get these benefits, but I'm coming back. He had to be a strategist. You know, who's one of the great strategists in comic books? Batman, Captain America, Iron Man sometimes, Superman, you know, some of these great strategists. Because you took away the black man's ability, woo, simply deep, to work. Where for years, black men have worked steel mills, factories, became managers, so on and so forth, where he put the next generation through school, bought houses, stayed in the military, used his VA loans for his education, his wife's, and his children. But this superhero didn't build shit, correct, Chaos? Even when he said, I couldn't work,
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and let you get. But not all sisters, of course. But there were sisters who thought she was better than her man. Too damn many for the liking. And didn't appreciate the hero that she had. She went to the other side, who we shall call the Legion of Doom. Exactly. We're going to get to that, Gem Rat. Woo! We're going to get to that. Stop kicking the goddamn chair. We're going to get to that. Our women aligned themselves with the Legion of Doom and feminism and believed the rhetoric that she was better than us. Instead of making us the Superman, she became our kryptonite at one time. Instead of being our support, our inspiration, where we were going to be your savior, your leaders, you turned your back on us. Not all, but too many did where it affected us. When you joined the Legion of Doom, as we will refer to them, you began to think of yourself better, smarter. I don't need no Superman. But we all know how well Lois does without Superman, right? We all know how Mary J. Watson does so well without Peter Parker, right?
Yeah, they do well. Yeah, you're right. They do well.
We know they
it's
do
funny.
so well.
Go ahead, before you answer anything, it's funny you mentioned those two characters. Those are the more popular ones, but really the more popular Marvel was actually Spider-Man. And if you look at how the Spider-Man was structured, Mary J. is that pinnacle of that Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
She played a role very well. Think about it.
Yeah. And if you think about it, when do you see Lois? She always going off thinking that she can do this by herself. She doesn't need a man. She can walk through the fires of hell, go take on the Legion of Doom by herself. But as soon as she get in trouble, who is she calling, Chaos?
Superman.
Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I'm lying.
Please.
If I'm lying, put a 2 in the chat. If I'm telling the truth, put a 1 in the chat, goddammit. But yet, protection is part of listening to instruction. Protection is foresight. But once again, you forget the Legion of Doom gave her something to use against Superman. Instead of using a kryptonite necklace that she didn't know that was killing her man, she would go to the Legion of Doom and get child custody and support against her man.
Yes, yes. Some women ain't gonna like this conversation, but they're not liking this at all. I like this. Say
And we're
what?
gonna tell the truth. Does that mean all of us are Supermen? Not all,
Yeah.
but there's a good amount of us. Just like not all women turned their back on us.
Mm-hmm.
But that kryptonite ring in the form of Section 8,
Mm.
where I don't need no Superman to save me. Child support, where I can get your abilities. I'm going to use your pinnacle power, which is your amazing strength, because I'm a strong, independent woman. And I'm going to turn it against you. I don't need you. I could do bad all by myself because I got the Legion of Doom back of me. But yet,
Mm-hmm.
you started to get all these advantages over your Superman. For all you German people, Ubermesh.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he still thrived. Even during the 80s, during the crack epidemic, I've seen Supermen fully furnished 3-bedroom houses with brand new furniture, driving cabs 60 hours a week. I've seen Supermen take jobs just to put food on the table while you were getting educated, when you were getting quote unquote liberated, or as I like to say, depowered from your man, because your man was your biggest arsenal. Somehow, Lois thought that she was the marquee character bigger than Superman. When they stated all these facts about your Superman, quotation marks, you believe them hook, line, and sinker. The world believed this subterfuge. And for some godforsaken reason, you had the crack of the 80s, and then here comes the violence of the 90s. The daddies ain't at home. You're damn right we back. Woo! And imagine this for a second. A man lives for his legacy. A woman lives for her nest. And how many times we sing Lois Lane keep the children of the Superman away from him? How many times, Chaos? How many times Superman wants to see his kids, wants to take his kids, wants to elevate his children? And
It's been
because she,
happening countless times, man. I lost count. To be honest with you.
and because she was in line with the Legion of Doom. Hold on for a second.
All right. As Charles gets Mike back in order, for those that's watching, please like this video. If you're in the building, hit that like button. Don't be hesitant. And also subscribe to Charles Faultless channel and leave a comment at the end of this live stream and other live streams. Normally, I think me and Charles gonna probably structure a series somehow of the Q&A somewhat from organization. I think this is the 5th one. I gotta double check how many streams we've done so far. But we're getting organized. We're getting together, people. Be patient. Let me check. Let me check who's in the chat room. Let's check. I'm looking now. Okay, I see Trinity. I see Minister. What's good? Miss China White, how you doing, sis? Hope everything's good. Who else here? Dasky Vel. Nice name, right, bro? Jim Rat 5. You know, he's been pumping that iron. You know what I'm saying? Keep it healthy. What up, bro? Iori 66. As y'all know, Iori is that character from Fatal Fury / King of Fighters. You feel me? You know, I'm a big SNK fan. You know, certain fighting games are good. All right, he's back. Make sure he's back. Oh, Minister, to correct that, you might have to if you subscribe to the channel, you might have to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and hit the top bell, because one thing YouTube is now starting to do, and I'm gonna tell y'all something about my channel at the end of the stream. I'm not going from Charles' stream. They're gonna start limit who's really on YouTube, who's going live per se. That's why I tell people many times it's vital once y'all watch this video to hit that like button, because YouTube is not gonna respect a lot of live streams if people are not here hitting that like button the minute they come in. If you just watch it and then just jump it out and jump back in, the algorithm is not gonna be friendly to you, especially if you're not a heavy subscriber or you're not a regular notification. What I mean, you're not pressing the right notification on the main channel. Just like my channel, I had to tell most people that are actually devoted viewers and that do watch my material that they have to hit the top bell if they subscribe to the channel. Matter of fact, I'll tell you right now. Right now, y'all notice I have not done the live streams on my Chaos Marine channel. Reason why? Because I am suspended. I'm on a 90-day suspension on YouTube. Unfortunately. Now, most people are not going to really miss me on YouTube much, because whoever knows if I do content, oh well. But I'm spending on my channel right now. So right now, what I'm doing is, you know, dealing with other people that I know or I'm close with, or, you know, and give my talents, what I know, and, you know, branching out a little bit out here on the YouTube streets. So yeah, I might still see me do some content on my main channel, but right now you're not gonna see no content from Chaos Rain channel for until October. And
that's why you gotta support your interest, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was telling people that my channel was suspended for 3 months. So those that really care if I did content on YouTube or don't know me, or really doesn't, I can't do no streams or no uploads on my channel for until October. So right now, I tell you many times I'm networking with other people, working with people, giving some of my perspective, and, you know, not only support but my, you know, expertise.
He has definitely done his thing as the chief engineer for my channel. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So right now, this is how it's gonna go, and I will probably might open my other channel for some other things. It will not be like live stream like on my main channel. I'll tell you that by sometime next week possibly, and I'll drop the link for those who want to really listen to the content. Subscribe. Charles, before you continue, a little disclaimer to let people know. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong. I think I noticed what YouTube's doing now. They're unsubscribing people off people's channels.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what they're doing, because when I look at my channel, I notice my channel very rarely grows. And people that subscribe. But when I'm checking who subscribed the last 90 days, they're not giving me a number now. Let's see now.
I've noticed that myself, because I went down to subscribers.
So it seems to me that this YouTube thing is suppressing regular people content, whether good or bad. For whatever reason, I don't know. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a big problem. I tell people many times, The best thing you can do since YouTube is going to start slowly, and I can't say it's shadow banning per se, bro, but I will say this: they're going to start limit what's being played on here in the airwaves on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
because of the commercialization. Hell, they
Mm-hmm.
removed Angel's channel, and Angel's doing pretty well right now on his website, so he's not really missing YouTube per se. But see, if he didn't create his IP address and made a website last year, no one would hear from him again. You guess
Yep.
me? But he had to do what he had to do because YouTube is now being very censored. So I tell people many times our time on here can be limited depending on how YouTube plays out. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you, it's not the end. I have other outlets that I put my material. I'm not sure I'm gonna get compensated. I have to figure it out. I don't have Patreon. I'm not sure if I'm going to anytime soon because my audience is not that strong. So right now, what y'all dealing with right now. And so I feel something around this, you know. So while y'all here, you gotta support your interests. There's no way around it. And most time black people don't want to because black people think it's free. They had to put money into this. Like
They're
every other
gonna have
company,
to.
they're telling y'all this.
They're gonna have to get the viewership up, get the support up. I will make a Patreon to talk about any and everything.
Yeah. But it goes for again, you have to support your interest. If you're not even support on here, you're not gonna support anywhere else. I'm just telling people the honest truth. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
These are topics that are not true because we're not talking about relationships or the black the fuck. Yes, it's good to talk about, but like any content creator, we gotta be balanced in our discussions. You know? And this is only being fair for you ladies. You get me?
Mhm.
We all know dudes want to come here, us talk shit, say, you fucking black bitch. You are I know, I get it, but me as me, I can't do it every day. I don't have the mentality for it.
And there's times I have to,
I don't have
and
a
there's
problem with it.
and there's even times we have to defend the ladies.
Yeah, I have to, man. I mean, even today, I was thinking of we should talk about that thing with the lady in Alabama, but we're gonna hold off that maybe tomorrow. Not saying maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Either
But
later tonight or tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
So
Mhm.
it's gonna be crazy because now we're gonna do a little bit more open talks. But back to the situation at hand.
Yes.
Remember, I'm Black Superman, and so are
Hmm.
you.
Yes.
See, this Superman, who was actually taken from a faraway land and learned how to survive and actually grow to flourish to be the strongest being on the planet, was always persecuted. Unjustly was he given the rights. Oh, we get into those too. Unjustly was he taken to courthouses in a place that has no debtors prison, but taken to jail for child support. They say black men do not like to commit, but 80% of women file divorces. They said he is not a good father. He makes babies from everywhere. When it comes to find out 52% of us don't even have children. As a matter of fact, worldwide, only 50% of the men on the planet ever get to reproduce. You hear all this about the Superman, but they worship your athletic gifts, your immense strength, your inhuman speed, your quantum intellect, but they don't even want to give you any credit. That's amazing. I've never seen a hero give so much of himself and get so little back in return. There are women of his race, his ilk, who denies him ever being this hero, whether he was educated from the urban environment. There are times when each and every one of those men heroically put you first. There are so many millionaires and billionaires in this black space I like to call codename Krypton, who owe their lives to this superhero, owe their careers. Every time I hear somebody become a high level draft pick, they thank their mama, but they never show any praise of the people who invested in their skills. For example, Zion was not taught basketball by his mother, but he completely left out his stepfather. The superhero. The reason why you are a multimillionaire at the very young age you are today. And you wonder why we grow stagnant on Krypton. You could even use any reference I'm using. There was a book, A World Without Superman. You know what happened during that little book, that little story arc, Chaos? It was total anarchy.
Which book was this?
This was an old Superman book, World Without Superman.
Okay, I don't think I heard about it. I'm listening.
The world went into anarchy. There was no protection. The crime, the marauders. It was a pandemic. Things in the nature went astray. But once that Superman appeared, it was all right with the world. So, do you think we're better off acknowledging our superheroes, keeping them, or are we past all that and we don't need a Superman? What are your thoughts, Chaos?
I think we need superheroes more than ever in this community. As right now, we're finding a pandemic of beta and sissified males amongst our community. With the help of the sisters, that help nurture and birth and groom these effeminized weak males. That's another story. But we need actual heroes more than ever, bro, because it's very lacking. Besides the lacking of masculinity in our communities, real superheroes is necessity. That's how I view it. I'll be right back.
So, if anybody wants to comment, come up on the screen and give their 2 cents. There's the link. Please do so. Make sure you like the live stream. Support your interests. There's the Cash App and the ticker. Email, if you're so inclined. Please email me Give me some ideas that you want to hear that need to be heard. You never know. Your topic could be picked. So let me know how you think about the show. If it sucks, if it's going well, what can help us grow. We'll be waiting. Hey, Ori, what's up?
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm styled and
Yeah,
profile and chilling.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, that stuff that I heard. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Uh, there,
Anytime.
there was something that kind of broke in me when I heard that black men were hung in their uniform. That was kind of gut wrenching. Um, you know, I I think it was like Fox or FS1 or something like that. I remember Shannon Sharp said something to the effect that when his grandfather came back, I think from World War II, that he would capture some Germans and they would be able to sit in the front of the bus. They were chained, and then his grandfather would have to go sit in the back. And a lot of people, especially nowadays, um, don't really pay attention to what black men have gone through in this racket. And it's part of a violent relationship with feminism because the Democrats kind of control the feminist archetype. And ironically, regardless of what people want to say about how much they care about black men, a guy like Joe Biden was the guy that put the crime bill through, and the same Democratic feminists that claimed to be for black people were the same ones that had no problem putting them in jail. So, whenever it comes down to this stuff, I feel like feminism and where feminism has gone is kind of something that we don't even talk about anymore. I mean, we talk about it in spaces like this, but if you pay attention, because I was thinking about this, if Will Smith had been caught doing the same thing that Jada Pinkett had done, the feminists would have cut him up and ripped his guts out. And it's crazy that a lot of times you have this negativity that's unfounded towards black men, and it kind of breaks my heart because a lot of good black men are not here to talk about what happens to them. People have to always keep quiet about that. It's like you have to be a Superman, but then you have to take a pill of cyanide to keep quiet.
You're absolutely right. It is gut wrenching. It's sad. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's not even humane.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs in the street were treated better. How is it when you got to hit the link if you want to be added? How is it that men of courage and bravado and of strength sit in the back of a bus?
Mm-hmm.
You're my defeated enemy, and you're treated with more dignity.
Right.
Hey, Dr. Phil, who are you? Unmute yourself, Dr. Phil. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove.
Who's that, Charles?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
know.
I've never
I
seen
don't
that
know.
guy in this space, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know, but
I
maybe
want
Bernice
to.
Hart.
Yeah. Can you add
Bernice
me?
Hart. Who are you? See, we don't deal with trolls too much.
Yeah.
See, it's like
You're
chaos.
sure you're not?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because if you're a troll and you're not speaking and you just want to sit just to vent or watch, you can do that from a distance, you know. But you can't do it up here. When you're on the panel, you gotta speak. But go ahead.
See, Chaos and I was once talking offline on the phone, and we looked at this whole thing with Jada and Will. Will and Jada. I'm gonna tell you something that nobody thought about, and I had to look at it. If Will Smith would have done the same thing with Jada, they'd have called Will Smith a pedophile.
Bingo.
They would have tried to make so many attempts. Woo. Platinum Epic. What's up? They'd have made so many attempts. Okay, hit the chat if you want to come up and say something. They would have had the Edo Period Shogun. Oh, that was one of my classic lines. They would have had tried to put the narrative, even though this person would have been 21, 22 years old, they'd have made it look like he's a fucking pedophile. Because remember, women can't be pedophiles, even though you hear more cases of female teachers sleeping with underage boys.
Yeah, man. But it's actually because when it comes to us as men, we look at it as nothing as like you screwing or fucking older women, but in actuality, it's pedophilia because what happens is you entice that boy at a too early age in his development.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
What up, Platt?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Down here, I'm in the South. If there's a 5-year difference, a man acts, and he's pursuing, not a situation where the girl and him, met at a church and got together quickly, and then there was no dating, there was no actual pursuing. That he could probably get away with, but where he's pursuing, there's a lag in a relationship. Yeah, he's a pedophile. I'm saying just a 5-year difference. They don't down here. That's how they think. And if someone like Will would have done that to if it was a guy here in Memphis that was a singer, like a Will Smith, and he was dating someone like upcoming, and he was married, and there was an upcoming singer. They would have labeled him that all day. Me too'd him. He would have been crucified. His career would have been over with.
They would have Me Too'd him and gone after every relationship that he ever had to look for dirt. That's how they do it, man.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Now,
And you know what it is, Charles? The thing that pissed me off the most is looking at that interview. There was such disrespect because she was so dismissive of him and basically his contribution to her life. She talked about, oh, well, that guy August, he was dealing with some stuff, he was broken. I felt like I needed to fix him, like all this kind of dismissive kind of stuff. She said something that really got me. She said, I just wanted to feel good. I hadn't felt good for years. It's just like he's sitting right there. How much more emasculating can she make him, man? And and to be honest, she's like a D level movie actress. He's the A level dude in the shit. But then again, that goes
Yeah.
back to the fact that Platinum talks about it all the time. That Will Smith is bitch broke.
There you go,
That's,
bro.
that's the only way to put it. You know what I mean? Because like, there's nobody who has genuine standards and genuine kind of I am going to take this shit past this level that will put up with that.
Hold on, fellas. All right. Dr. Phil, who are you? Dr. Phil, you got 5 seconds to tell me who you are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unmute yourself.
Charles, kick him off, man. This guy's trouble because if he can't figure out the StreamYard, he's going to have to probably contact in the chat room. We don't have time for that, man.
Yeah.
Somebody time is that.
Hold on. Before you get this is a disclaimer. If you don't know how to use the technology, if you're over the age of 21 and don't know how to operate a Zoom room or a StreamYard, this is not the place to be jumping in the stream. Go watch some YouTube videos, or hell, I will make a video showing how to use StreamYards and Zoom. We're
And
going
here's
to y'all don't know how to operate a goddamn StreamYard. Come on, man. The fuck?
I'm not about the trolling. So if you're if you got a wrench, guns blazing, time them out. If they keep the bullshit going,
He's going to time out. Time out.
Put them in timeout.
Ain't finna say outline, that's gone. I'm gonna look at the chat room. So,
and I'm gonna just say this about the Will and Jada thing. If you listen very closely, she was not remorseful. She was happy about it. She didn't even want to say a relationship till Will had to drag it out of her.
Right.
She never took blame. She never took accountability. He was, think about it. She said the typical tropes. He was broken. I had to fix him. No, fix your damn marriage, you crazy bitch.
facts.
It's a goddamn shame it had to be a fellow Baltimorean, huh?
And you know, it's Will's fault, right?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course. 100%.
He's not loving enough. He's not supportive enough. It's still Will's fault. I wouldn't be surprised if Will Smith still gets Me Too behind what she did. I'm serious. I'm serious. I saying, hey, look, he's not a good husband. Look at what his wife did.
Before you continue, Platinum, I just look at the chat, the backroom chat. Charles, he will not come back up on here. You look at that chat. If any person talking about say they Dr. Phil, don't come back on the stream. We don't do this ghetto ass nigga shit.
Nah.
This is a fucking platform that we deal with some serious topics. We're not in here about some little made up celebrity. You come up here and say you're destined. No, you be gone. Matter of fact, if I see you in the chat room, moderators, give it to him. All right, continue.
No, I'm exaggerating on that, but it's just there's such a huge difference between the behaviors. Jada, we all know nobody cares. I mean, like Jada's protected. It'll be ignored that she was committing adultery. It will be ignored that she was having sex with a man, that she was experienced and having sex with a young man who's already said he's traumatized and troubled. That's ignored. She's forgiven. If not, that's another thing. Will doesn't have a choice. He must forgive her. It's unfair. Will is bitch broken, and that's a different story in the sense that he's bitch broken. I don't really call it that harp on that, but that interview is just terrible because it's like I said, it's like watching when I see stuff like that, it's like watching the pit bull who can't fight and can't bite, and it's a pit bull. It's like you've taken everything from that animal, you know, that being that's you just ripped it all, and to see Will have to sit there, and just have to take it, man. That's just sad, man. That's not a good look for black men at all.
See, the thing that I saw about this is he was being put on trial. He was the one that was being put on trial there. Like, as much as people would say, well, you know, she admitted to cheating, he was the one that had to sit there and basically hear the whole sob story. Think about that. Like, this is something that I picked up. To me, he was the one that was being put on trial because the whole thing about, you know, I felt good. What? Will didn't make you feel good? I was broken. Did Will break you, or did you break yourself? See, it's all this passive aggressive stuff that she was putting out, and it was almost like I was sitting out here and seeing Will Smith, who is an A1 Hollywood man, basically being put on trial. It's crazy, man.
He was.
Shout out to Craig Harper. Woo.
No, he was. His career is up there, and the way society looks at it, we know it's always the black man's fault. You know, there's an old saying it's always the nigger's fault, but really it's always the black man's fault. Will's lucky to be with her. Queen Latifah, all the women. Right now, they're saying Will is just not man enough. Like, you got to really know how to keep her happy. And it's always going to be his fault, man. I mean, I don't mean to say it like I'm trying to stand up for Will. It's always going to be the black man's fault. That's what I meant.
Let me ask you fellas this real quick. Do you think it's the most difficult job in the world to be Black Superman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It's not even something to consider.
I give you this notion, and I like to hear your thoughts on it. You have to be the superhero. You have to be the mother, the father, the pastor, the priest, the psychoanalyst, the medic. You have to be all. You literally have a $400 million man, and you're willing to fuck that up for a 22-year-old, almost nobody. Trust me, Jada hasn't really been cute like that since what? Maybe set it off
in 1995.
Like, different world, Jada. That was the baddest chick from Baltimore.
Yeah, she was once the baddest chick in Baltimore. Once.
Now, no. But you telling me you're gonna give up? Like, it's never enough. You know, literally, you could literally be from fucking Krypton itself, move a planet by fucking hand, and this chick will say, you forgot the stars and the moon and the sun.
Yep.
You literally throughout. I gave a literal history lesson, if you were listening, of what the fucking, and I could go even more in depth than that. I could actually go stop at slavery itself and talk about the heroism of black men. But it's never enough. Well, you got to know how to treat her. You're not strong enough. What about 50 Cent?
Right.
The Superman is not allowed to have any preferences.
Nope.
He's not allowed to say, this is the type of woman I like. There was even a meme, which I think somebody just said that just to start some shit. The only type of black women black men want are the ones they're attracted to. So?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't bring up the flaws of a black woman. You just can't do that. You can't bring up her mistakes. You can't bring up her inadequacies, whatever. You can't bring up her failures as a mother. You just have to accept her, and it's because it's really your fault as a man, as a black man. You failed her, and that's why all that stuff is happening. And I just know how they do black men. Now, I am no way trying to stick up for Will Smith. Okay, I mean Will Smith's bitch broken, and that's it. It is his fault for not being an alpha male in his relationship. But I'm saying as it affects us as black men, um, I feel sorry for us collectively because it's so unfair. You know?
Yeah. So you telling me that I'm supposed to remember the first Christopher Reeve Superman movie,
Uh-huh.
and he's got the chain, He's in the pool with the kryptonite on his chain.
Uh-huh.
See, that white chick, Miss Taskmaster, was gonna go save her man. You know why? I don't know if y'all remember this video, right? That BGS posted. It was a painting, very powerful painting. It was a black man chained to a tree.
Mm-hmm.
It was a black woman in a lake with a weight chain to her. In her hand in the water, she has the key to free the man. But
Yeah.
she stretches out her open, empty hand for him. Keep that image in your mind. Everybody remembers the original Christopher Reeve movie, right? Superman's dying. Lex Luthor set off all these bombs, these nuclear warheads. Miss Taskmaster, who was working for Luthor, she was like, my mom and my family. So the Superman needed Miss Taskmaster to get the chain to free him. Black women have the key, but they want us to free them while we're still chained, and you don't give us the key to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how impossible being the black Superman is. And somehow we still hold this motherfucker together by the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. You give that black man the key, the inspiration to save you, he'll move mountains for you. And what happened during that movie? He actually went to stop the warhead. The motherfucker reversed the fucking flow of time.
Yep.
It's never enough. Even down to the regular brothers. How many times a chick said you had to have this, had to have that? She could come with not a pot of piss in.
Couple
Yeah, they don't realize. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello,
What's
everybody.
up, Mary?
What's up, bro? What's up, y'all?
Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Trinity.
Hello.
Got up here.
Yeah,
They
they don't realize the damage that they're doing to their reputation by actually trying to cover for Jada's, for a fuckery. You know what I mean? And this is why they have the reputation for being the least desirable women in terms of.
Excuse me for a minute, Murray. Hey, Chaos. I'm gonna start getting ready for work. I'm gonna need you to cover for me for a few minutes.
Well, actually,
no,
just keep
good.
it on here. Just keep it going, Chaos, because I'm not gonna do nothing.
No, guys. Because I told you, Charles, we're gonna stop this around 10, after 10 right now. You might, if you do get a little break, you might.
Okay, but just give
right
them
now, we're gonna stop it.
We could go for about 30 more minutes. I'm just gonna get ready. It's gonna take me just a couple of minutes.
For 30 more minutes, and then we're going. Me and Mary got your thing. All right. So.
All right, but you finish what you were saying to Mary. I'll be right back.
Yeah, they haven't. They're not doing themselves any favors by attempting to to cover for Jada's fuckery. You know what I mean? And this is why they have the reputation for being the least desirable group of women. And see what it really is. The reason why a lot of these women do this is because on a certain level they identify with Jada. They identify or they relate. She's relatable to them because the fact of the matter is that this is them. And that's why I said the other night, what you see Jada doing in her behavior and her disposition and her indifference to Will's pain through her disrespect and her wantonness and looseness, this is in the mainstream of black female behavior. Like, this isn't on the periphery. This is very much mainstream. Like, we're dealing with the contingency of women in 2020 who think it's cute to be ratchet, who think it's cute to be hood rat. They think this shit is cute. You see what I mean?
I
And
think
this
you
is
have
why
a
I'm
point.
sorry.
I think you have a point there, as far as it's not a good look. However, in my opinion, I think, well, but black women don't hold the patent to righteousness, and also black women don't hold the patent to stepping outside of their marriages.
No, they
Now,
don't. They don't. But what we're talking about here is to the level or to the degree in which, number one, they do that, and number two, they cover for doing it, and it's no type of accountability when it comes to,
was there
when
any
it, hold
different
on.
when men
Okay.
cover for other men?
Oh, yes, it is different because you can't do what
Oh,
women can't do what men do,
okay.
sweetheart. Men and women are different.
They're exactly right. Well, right.
Men and women, and let me break it down for you like this, boo.
Well, I know it.
When
Well,
you see,
what you're going to explain to me right now is very hypocritical.
It doesn't
It's
matter. It
Hold
doesn't
up,
matter.
hold up,
if
hold
you
up. Hold up. Now, I don't have to say this, but one time, I don't care if people got debates. Hell, I live for this shit. It gives me substance. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go one at a time. We're not gonna interrupt each other. Go.
Okay,
Go ahead, Mary.
like I was saying, a woman can't do what a man do no more than a man can do what a woman do. And when black women start seeing black men running around here talking about why black women aren't protecting and providing for us, then you can make that argument. But so long as black women want to attempt to try and hold black men to being traditional, then they need to be willing to hold up to that end of the bargain, and don't come giving me this malarkey about, well, when men do this or when men do that, you cannot do what a man do. You're a woman. See, you can't see, as a group of women, you can't tell me you're the prize, but then you want to behave like a man. See, if Mary gonna make you pick. If you want to be the prize, you're gonna act like a prize, and the prize is supposed to be exclusive. At the Olympics, the most sought after medal was the gold medal. If everybody got a gold medal who participated, it wouldn't be worth much now, would it? So yeah, I'm gonna make you pick. You're not gonna have it both ways with a Mary. You're not gonna have it both ways.
I understand that, Amiri, but also what I want to say is, now, when you say that my opinions are malarkey, that's misogynistic, and I'm going to tell you why. Because just because I have a difference of opinion than you does not make my opinion less valid than yours, simply because you walk around with dick and balls. Now, I have a brain just like you have a brain. Now, we're not equal, but we are equally different, just like you say. Now, there are some things that I cannot do that a man can do, and there are some things that a woman can do that a man cannot do. I completely understand and respect that dynamic. However, Jada did not strap on a penis or grow an extra penis to penetrate that man. So, of course, she's not doing the same thing that a man is doing. She laid down, okay, and she got penetrated. Okay, how many which ways? I don't know. So she did not do the same thing that a man did. Okay, she had an affair as a woman. When a man goes out, he's having an affair as a man. So no matter what they're doing, it can't be the same, because you're dealing with two different genders. Now, as far as going back to the social construct of it, when you say things like a woman can't do what a man can do when the behavior is abusive, okay, that's giving men that's saying that, well, we can use narcissistic tactics to justify our bad behavior, but you can't use those same narcissistic tactics to justify your bad behavior and your ratchetness. I can be as ratchet as I want to be, but just because I'm standing behind masculinity, I'm not going to be held accountable for it. But all I'm trying to get you to see is that, okay, no matter who steps out of the relationship, whether it's the woman or the man, they're both wrong. If you make a commitment to somebody, if you go into a verbal agreement with someone, no matter if you're a man or a woman, and you break that verbal agreement, and you break that trust, then you're wrong. Now, from what I understand about
You
this,
said you said both,
okay, I'm still, hold on, sir.
but you
I'm
said
still,
both. You said both.
I'm
Both are right.
Black. Sister, let me finish. I want to hear this. I want to hear all
Yeah,
this.
because I do have something to respond to. But go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay, so what I understand from this particular situation, now, even though that they're famous, of course, all eyes are on this, but all eyes are on them, but we're not going to act as though this is something that's foreign to marriages. People separate all the time, and they step out, and they even have extra like babies outside of their marriage. This happens every day, but we put these people on such a pedestal that we're judging them, I think, more harshly than they should be judged. Now, it was very clear from the interview, I watched the interview, that Will Smith clearly said that I was done with you and we were separated and we were doing our own thing. And they both made it very clear that we thought we were never going to be together again. And so also, it was also said in the interview at the end, he said, well, I'm gonna have to get you back. She said, well, I think you got me back several times. He said, well, you may be right about that. So that was their justful way, in just basically she's saying, like, don't forget who started this shit type of shit, right? Now, whatever we got to remember that they were in a relationship. They've been married for more than 25 years. So they've probably been through so many things, but this thing has, it's went public because the young man just decided to speak out for whatever reason. That's his business. But, we all got our own, we can't throw stones in a glass house because we all got our own bullshit that we deal with, and I think that if they're both,
So you don't
listen, if
think
they like it,
hold
if
up,
they
hold
like,
up, hold up. You gotta speed it up.
if they like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they decide that they want to be together and they're going to work it out. That's their business. I mean, who am I to judge or to say that Jada's ratchet or a whore or a home wrecker or whatever, when we don't know how many affairs that Will's had, and we don't know the dynamics of
Here's
their
the point.
relationship.
Hold on for a second, Mary.
Okay.
Here's the main difference, okay? Because I just got off the phone a few hours ago with a female friend of mine. You know what the one thing women never do? They will never, ever, 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 especially black women, they will never, ever say a woman is just totally wrong and leave it as that.
I didn't say she wasn't wrong.
No.
I didn't say that.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Because, one, what she did Will ever publicly embarrass her?
Nope.
Did Will ever get to be seen gantamancing with any fucking chick?
Nope.
No.
Do you want me to respond, or is it like
For crying out loud, she slept
do you have evidence or pictures of him going to award shows with another woman?
Well, I would imagine that he's smart enough to keep his hoes in line.
So guess what? Has he embarrassed his wife publicly?
No.
Has she
Not that I know of.
Has she embarrassed her husband publicly?
Hold on 1 second. Let these people pass.
But I do have a question for her, though.
Hey, before you go with the question, please
hello.
Thank you. Continue.
Has she embarrassed her husband publicly?
Well, yeah, that I would consider this an embarrassment for the family.
So, if anything, who has to eat crow?
I don't know what that phrase means.
In other words, who has to have the face of embarrassment on them?
Will.
She should.
Oh, well, no, I think that Jada Pickett should hold. I think that Jada Pickett should hold the grunt of the embarrassment because it's surrounding her. But like I said, no one knows the dynamics of their relationship, and I would imagine that there's a reason why he's staying with her. I mean,
even with that, there's a reason why she's staying with him. Okay, because if August had half of Will's money, she'd have been gone.
That's right.
People don't like to talk about the hypergamous nature of women. Okay, they always looking for the better deal, so they realize I fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
See, this is the difference between men and women psychologically and physically. A man could go sleep with 100 women and he ain't leaving his wife. There is no emotional ties there for that man. That woman could sleep with one man, and she was in love with that man. You don't fuck up 25 years, a quarter of a century relationship and marriage.
Yeah.
See, women don't understand.
That's not even no respect for the dude. Like you don't shit
But y'all two
don't
can
shit where
continue
you
the
eat,
debate.
man. Come on, man.
I'm gonna freshen up a bit. Y'all two can continue the debate.
Yeah,
But
let me ask you a question because and I hear everything that who is this young lady on the panel? Who is this? What's your name?
This is Trinity. Hi, how you doing? This is Trinity.
I'm all right. Well, I'm a Mary.
I'm married.
What I heard what you were saying, Trinity, and I'll just ask you a very simple question. In terms like when you're getting with a guy in a relationship, right? Who do you see as being the prize? Do you see yourself as being the prize as the woman, or do you see the man being the prize? Be honest.
Well, okay. Well, if you let me answer, thank you.
Mm.
I think that I'm the prize, so I'm going to go find the prize. So I think that we're both the prize. I think I'm the prize in my own
that
feminine.
doesn't work.
Excuse me, sir. Hold on, sir. What you're not going to do is tell me how to answer the question.
All right, well, make it quick.
And you're not going to tell me what to do either. I'm going to speak my mind the way I want to.
I asked you a question. It's a very simple question. I don't need a long dissertation.
Okay, sir. You asked the question. Allow me to answer it the way I want to answer it. Do not coerce me. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I feel like I am the prize because I have self-confidence. But also, when I go out to find a mate to procreate with, I'm looking for a prize as well.
Okay.
And that's my answer.
Okay. And so in terms of you being the prize, what do you think that man is supposed to do for you?
Well, I mean, whatever I expect from a man, that's my own personal standards and whatever else.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. What do you think women in general would want a man to do in order? See, the reason why men do what they
women
do
have
for
different.
Well, let me go finish saying what I'm saying. The reason why women expect certain things from men, because Charles mentioned hypergamy. And I always hear black women ad nauseum going on about provision and protection. And what women have given in return for that is exclusivity. Period. So you it's no way you can rationalize it or try and intellectualize it. If you want to be the prize as the woman, and so the man has to pay the cost to be the boss in order to get that attention or that vibe from you, what he gets in return is exclusivity. Period. Okay. The bottom line is this: is that anything that is readily available automatically depreciates with value. You see what? And this is the conundrum that 21st century women, particularly black women, are faced with, and this is what they're whining about.
Can I respond to that?
Hold on.
I'm still going on. They've made themselves too accessible. They've become too common. And what they want now is these women who've made themselves too common. Now they want men to come and do what men have traditionally done to get a woman who was exclusive. It's the reason why we call it a trophy wife. But you can't be a trophy wife behaving like a trollop or a hoe. Let's be real.
Well, let me just respond to that. Really, I'm going to make it very quick, just so I don't forget this point. Okay. Now, for you to say that what men want, that would say that you're speaking for all men and what all men want. When the truth of the matter is, all men are different. Not every one man wants the same thing from their women. Some men do like hoes. Some men do like good girls. Some men claim that they like good girls and then they go cheat with hoes. So at the end of the day, it depends on the individual man. And for you to tell another man what he should want and what he does want is actually you are actually emasculating that man. A man can stand on his own 2 feet and think and with his own manly brain and say, this is what I want. And I'm not deflecting, but please let me speak, sir. Please let me continue. Hold on, please. Thank you. Okay, so for you to tell another man what he should want or what he do want, you're basically emasculating another man. Men know what they want as individuals. And at the same
Okay.
on the flip side, on the flip side, women are not the same in what they want too. Some women do want a man with a lot of money. Some women want a man that's going to lay on the couch, and they might say they want a man to get up off that couch, but as soon as that man go get a job, she'll try to sabotage him so he can be up on that couch again. So at the end of the day, women are different. Women are not a monolith, and men are not a monolith either. So when you speak, please speak for yourself as a man of yourself as an individual, and I'm going to speak as a woman as an individual.
Hold up, brother.
Actually, and I apologize for telling you what to do, but
Times. Okay. Number one, there's a little subject called sociology, right? So
You talking to me?
yes.
Okay.
So believe it or not, human beings tend to be kind of a monolith. We do have individual traits, but overall, there are certain things we're going to behave similar to because of environment and culture. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm going to ask you nicely. Do not yell at anybody here. Just like I'm going to ask anybody else here. Two, all women are hypergamous. Some may cost a little, some may cost a lot, but all women are trying to go up from a spot where they came from. If a woman grew up in a millionaire household, she wants a billionaire. If a woman been in a cardboard box, she at least want a nigga with a shelter. Okay? Just like all men want to be leaders. All men want to be the strongest. Does it mean we'll always be that? No. Some things are a monolith. Some things are unique. Even, guess what? If it wasn't true, sociology be damned. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we're talking about is just the general patterns of mating and dating and the strategy that men come from in terms of mating and the strategy that women come from in terms of mating generally. Of course, there are exceptions to what we're talking about, but we're speaking very very generally. That's why I said what you're talking about is a deflection. That's what we're talking about is generally speaking. You hear black women en masse ad nauseum complaining about the fact that they can't practice hypergamy. And my point is not to say that as women you don't deserve to be hypergamous. What I'm saying is that you have to give something to get that. And what women have typically given to get that is exclusivity. But that's not what these sisters want to do. They want to be able to behave like men. You are not a man. And so long as you think a man is supposed to, when he sees something bad happening to you, come diving in like he's Superman or he Batman, it'll never be the same.
Yeah, no, hold on.
And until women are expected to give the same sweat equity and blood equity as men, I don't want to hear these arguments about equality when it comes to sexual practices and sexual behaviors. See, even in the biblical narrative, even in the biblical narrative, we see Adam who gave his rib. Who gave his rib to create his wife, because not to say that a woman came from man. What it's showing is that this is what a man is expected to give to birth his wife. He's expected to give something, to give of himself through his sweat equity and his blood equity. And so long as women continue to expect men to do that, then you're going to have to be exclusive, boo. And if you can't be exclusive, stop trying to get these men to be traditional when every day y'all show y'all ain't about that life. That's all I'm saying.
Well, hold on. Can I make a comment?
Okay, all right. Platinum.
Yeah.
Let me see who's on. All right, everybody. All right. Go ahead, Platinum.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to make a comment about her saying she viewed herself as the prize. Women like that are bad women, and they do emasculate men. Those are.
I think you're a bad man for saying that.
Okay. Well, I was trying to act. Well, anyhow. When women see themselves as the prize, that's a bad woman. When they view the man as the prize, that's a good woman, because she's coming in feeling like a winner. When a woman feels like, it was really nothing, her and this man being together, would certainly, we know they don't want to feel like they lost something. When they feel like they didn't win, like it was an even match, they're not happy. and it's not supposed to be made. It'd be better off she just didn't deal with that man and found someone that she did that she could invest in. But it was interesting. You continually say them and as a marriage they failed when the woman is clearly wrong. But it's never like that when the man is clearly wrong. It's never, well, they're having marital problems. They're going through something. It's no, he's out having sex with other women. It's his fault. There's a divorce. She should divorce his ass. So.
Well, I clearly said that they both had their issues to work on. I never said that she was right. I never said that he was wrong. Okay. I said that if he like it, I love it.
Okay.
There's a reason why he.
Okay.
You see how? Okay. So are you interrupting me?
No, I'm just asking. Was Jada
okay? So like I was, in the middle of a statement. So.
Yeah, but you're talking in circles. Like, was she right?
Oh, so because you're a man, you have the right to dictate how I speak.
No, it's just that you've been talking for 20 minutes and Platinum.
No, actually, I wasn't. Actually, Platinum was talking. Actually, Platinum was talking, and before that, Charles was talking, and then you were talking. So, what are you talking about?
Platinum can't get 2 minutes worth of time to actually expound his point.
He actually just spoke, and he made a pause, and I responded.
No, I can mute up. I just simply noticed.
No, I don't want you to. No, I don't want to mute. I don't want you to mute up. It's just that I thought that you were done because you made a long, exasperated pause. That's all.
Trini, I interrupted you because you said she wasn't right and he wasn't wrong, and it's like. You're talking in circles. She was wrong.
No, I'm not. No, I'm very clear and very direct with what I'm saying. I said I never said that Jada Pinkett was right for stepping out on her marriage, and I never said that Will Smith was wrong for whatever anybody might want to blame him for. Because I heard you guys before I came on the panel. I heard you guys say, well, don't be surprised if he gets Me Too'd because he didn't, do what she expected him to do. And that's why they're going to say that that's why she stepped out. That's why I made that statement. So I never blamed Will Smith for her infidelity. And I never said that she was right.
Bottom line is women always have a million and what women always trying to contextualize their bad behavior. Bad behavior is bad behavior. I don't care why you're
generalizing again.
I don't care what yes, I am generalizing because we're talking about a general group. I don't want to hear the
No, we're not talking about a general group. We're talking about black women that you're trying to demonize.
I'm talking.
Well, I was talking actually before you interrupted me.
I'm talking.
But you go ahead. I'll go ahead and give you the mic because you're a man, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Because what I have to say does not matter. So you go ahead.
Whatever floats.
Speak your piece. Okay, speak your piece.
Well, like I was saying, they always want to contextualize their bad behavior. And look, aside from the infidelity piece of this, let's just take for a moment to consider that this woman, this 48-year-old mother of 2 children, slept with her son's friend. Aside from anything else, in any way you slice it, she's trash. Okay, she's trash. Period. Like it's nothing. I don't even know why we having these long drawn out discussions on this woman's whoredom. She admitted herself that she's addicted to porn. I mean, she's addicted to sex. So that in of itself is problematic, man. So how are you? As a man, how are you supposed to satisfy a woman who's addicted to sex? It's obvious she has mental health issues. She's talked about the fact that she's an alcoholic. Come on, this woman is a walking train wreck. And like I said, the scary thing in all of this is that she's not on the periphery of black womanhood. She's very much in the mainstream.
You can find Jada Pinkett Smith anywhere in the United States on pieces of fish. On
fish.
on whatever escort fish, whatever escort blogs in your community, and they're going for about $80.
You can find them on YouTube.
And
running their mouth talking about whining and complaining about black men. You can find them right there.
They're plentiful in YouTube chat boxes.
You know what I mean? And they don't and what it is, they don't want us as black men to start having any level of standards when it comes to their behavior. It's a new day. You know what I mean? But you want to be a prize.
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this before I finish getting ready. See, women think that When they make the statement, you think you should be able to tell me what to do because you're a man? Yes.
Thank
Whether it's your spirituality, Christian, Muslim, whatever. Let me see. Why am I in charge? Because I'm going to make sacrifices you want. Every holy
So,
book, God didn't speak to Eve first. He didn't speak to Eve at all. Even when a black man or a man period is not there, he's always going to get blamed when the child goes wrong. Okay? That man is so intricate when it comes to building society itself and the protection of women and children. You're damn right you're going to listen. Even in the case of Will and Jada, did Will give her a better life than she had on her own? The answer is yes.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The least you could
10
do,
times over.
even while separated and going through your bullshit, you don't be out front with your bullshit. This is the difference psychologically between men and women. Women think very short term and nest-like. Men think legacy and long term. First of all, Will and Jada are not just a married couple. They're not just a family. They're a goddamn brand that's worth hundreds of millions. Just like Jay and Beyonce, just like Barack and Michelle. Infidelity kills brands.
And you know,
Hold
Jada.
on. Let me finish real quick.
My fault.
And the fact of the matter, and I'm glad you actually did admit, Trinity, that she was at fault, because most black women would not do that. They would try to think of some bullshit. Well, Will may not have been treating her nice, and get the fuck out of here.
He treated her better than she probably deserved, considering what she's.
And I'm going to tell you this. Because a lot of times when you in those situations with those type of couples, yeah, they on some weird shit. But at the same time, you have to have a certain level of decorum, not only for your family but also for the business. Okay, just like Steph Curry's wife Aisha, her mother-in-law, her mother and Steph's sister had to sit her ass down and said, "Baby, if you leave, who the fuck are you? You're more known than Steph Curry's wife. Without her, you're a failed D-listed actress from Canada." Okay?
About the truth, bro. About the truth.
See, a lot of people don't realize this. Men have to put women in better situations. Women are supposed to inspire us to do so. Okay? Things can be forgiven to a certain level, but when everybody knows about it, come on. Even if Will did it. See, the difference between men and women, if Will stepped out, they'd be like, "Nigga, you got caught. You got to suffer from it." And I'm not saying you specifically, Trinity, but too many women will make excuses for Jada, and you know it, right?
They about to do it today, bro, and the rest of the week. I'm seeing that. I see that
I'll be right
podcast.
back.
Yeah, all you gotta do is go look on
Wait.
social media.
well, I think
Okay,
I think
Hello, Charles. Hold on, got it. Charles, you there?
I'll be right back. You can finish.
We're going to cut this. We're going to cut this because already.
Matter of fact, is everybody going to be available? Because around 1 o'clock, I'm going to start part 2 of this. Please.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
I should still be up.
Yeah, but me and Mary are going to go, bro. So it might be around 1, possibly.
So around 1, I want everybody: Trinity, Platinum, Elite, Iori, Chaos, Reign, and Mary. Guess what? I want everybody in the goddamn chat. Not only to hit the Cash App and do whatever you could do, but also we're coming back with part 2, round 2. Ding, motherfuckers.
What's your
Charles.
What's your standard time?
Hold on, guys.
I'm in Eastern Standard.
Okay. Eastern.
Yeah. So this is what we do. For everybody, who sees conversation, it'll be part 2. Well, other than that, see y'all in part 2. So let me just hit this theme music, sit back, enjoy, and good night for part 1. Y'all look at part 2.